Yeah, no,
Alrighty, I pressed record here. We were chatting a bit before, so I gotta work on. I gotta get a bit I gotta get some more graphics. I gotta hire a graphic team, but it's all good. So and I gotta learn how to edit, but sometimes that's how it is. But I'm joined by Jonathan Mattis out of California, and it's a pleasure to meet you, and known as a sports judge on Facebook as well, as I see. So yeah, you do have some. I love your posts. They get me thinking. You made the comment, the post about Powell, and it brought me back to the Raptors in 2019 and their run, and how we played a pivotal role. So just love that, and again, great to meet you in person and all that fun stuff through Zoom. It's good.
likewise, my friend. It's great to meet you in person too. It's always fun to come on a new show and chat with new people. And I just want to take the moment to say thank you for having me on. It's really cool uh, to always collaborate with new people in this industry. And it's always an exciting adventure. It seems, and it seems like you do a very good show. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's about broadening the base and that sort of thing. And if we go back, if we go back a couple months, let's just kind of start there. A couple months ago, everybody in most people in Canada were cheering for the Jays and their run. And you're a big Dodgers fan, from what I could tell. And how'd you kind of become a Dodgers fan? You were at the parade. The days after that and that sort of thing, with your daughter, and just kind of tell us how that all kind of came to be.
So it goes way back with me. I'm a Southern California native, as you know. I was born and raised here in Southern California. Grew up in a city called Cerritos, California, which is a suburb city, not too far from Los Angeles. I want to say about 30 minutes with no traffic. I'll be in downtown LA. Then 20 minutes from here is Anaheim, California. Never really been on the Orange County side when it comes to sports teams, but I've always rooted for the Dodgers. I've always rooted for the Lakers. I've always rooted for the Kings, and I always rooted for the USC Trojans. So it started for me at a very young age. I became a sports fan at a very young age. My dad used to watch a lot of sports, and I started watching games with him. And actually, to tell you the truth, I have a very soft spot for baseball because baseball was my first love. Baseball was the original sport that I started watching before everything else. So baseball was my number one. And I think it will always be my first love. So growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, the Dodgers weren't really that great of a team, but they were the baseball team here in Los Angeles. So you either loved them or hate them. And I
Mhm.
loved them because, I've always believed that if you are from somewhere, you root for the home team. And so
Right.
I've always been an all LA sports guy. And that's how that came to be. And so when they won last year, if you remember, they won in 2020. A lot of people said that didn't really count because obviously it was a abbreviated season and you know, I still say it counts. I mean, to me that was the hardest one to win. But because it was in the middle of a pandemic, we didn't get a parade. We got robbed of a parade. So, last year was my opportunity to experience my first ever championship parade because I missed out on the Lakers once. When the Lakers had their big celebrations, that was during my high school days. So the parade would be scheduled in the middle of the week, and mom was like, "No, you're not skipping school for that. Sorry." So I missed out on those parades. So this was my chance as a young adult, well, an older adult now, you can say, this was my real opportunity to get a chance to experience a parade. And I got that opportunity because in 2020 we didn't get a parade
Right.
because of the pandemic. So 2024 was my first ever parade. And then I promised myself, I said, you know what? If they win back to back, this year, I'm going to try to get tickets into the stadium to be there for the rally. and I'm gonna do it with my daughter. It's gonna be a dad and daughter moment for sure. And so my wish came true. The Dodgers won the World Series, and we lucked up on getting the tickets because we got on the phone right away, and you know we were ready to get those tickets. And thanks to my fiance, because she the one that really got on the phone,
Yeah.
and then I got on the phone as well, trying to see if I could get through. And she lucked up getting through for us. And we purchased the tickets, and then it was just me and my daughter, and that was quite a day.
Yeah, totally right. Because I mean, the Dodgers prior to 2020, yeah, they had their series versus the Astros in 2017. But prior to that, I mean, you're looking at the Kirk Gibson home run of 88, that sort of thing. So, I mean, everybody thinks the Dodgers dominate. And yeah, they just signed a closer from the Mets. But I don't think they win as much as people think. Maybe I'm a bit off with that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you look back at the World Series, right? They could have played a lot better. They could have played a lot better, and I think people had high expectations for them going into that series. The reason I say that is because look, they spent so much money to put together a championship caliber team. So when you have three MVPs at the top of your order, you are going to expect them to produce and score runs and put the ball in play. And that was something we really didn't see. It's like the Dodgers were able to squeeze out victories to get by, to get a lot of lucky bounces in that series.
Hmm.
But you take it however it comes. And they took it however it came. And I will say this too, Steve. I think experience won it for the Los Angeles Dodgers. That was experience. Not to take anything away from the Toronto Blue Jays, because the Toronto Blue Jays clearly, and I will say this, Steve,
Hmm.
they outplayed the Dodgers in just about every facet of the game. When you go back and you watch that World Series, they put the ball in play. They worked every at bat, and I was just amazed with that, how they were able to just work the count. They were able to wear down the Dodgers starting pitchers, and I mean, that was our biggest strength this year, starting pitching. The bullpen was an emotional roller coaster. It was like riding an emotional roller coaster ride. I mean, the bullpen had Dodger fans stressing out. It was that type of year for the bullpen. But yes, the Dodgers, no, they didn't play as well as the Blue Jays. But what they did well, and what they did a little bit better than the Toronto Blue Jays, they got the timely hits when they needed them.
Yeah.
And they got lucky bounces, yes. And they also made the clutch defensive plays when they needed to be made. And Miguel Rojas was the game changer. He was just absolutely sensational. That was a great, great adjustment for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it proved to pay off in a big way.
Yeah, and no question, right? And then we think about the line drive that Max Muncy caught. You're like, they played him in there and just yeah, I mean that play in the outfield there where Kiki Hernandez is down, and I had a guy on in James Duffy a few weeks ago. He was on the third baseline, 5 rows up, and he talks about it in the interview, and he goes, it's over. And he comes out of nowhere and makes that catch. That was, I mean, Derek Jeter, those guys, they said that was probably one of the most entertaining series since the D-backs and Yankees in 2001.
I would agree. I think it was the best World Series ever. I mean, I've watched a lot of World Series over the years, and I'm a fairly young guy. I'm only 40 years old.
Mhm.
I lived on this earth for 4 decades, but I've seen a lot of World Series, and I've been watching the World Series as far back, I want to say since the early 90s when I was a little boy. And I can tell you, out of all the World Series I've seen, I think that ranks up there as the best. Like
Awesome.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing comes close to that.
Wow.
I mean, we got the best matchup in Major League Baseball history. The Blue Jays and the Dodgers gave us entertaining baseball.
Hmm.
And you know what? That might have changed the way people view baseball. Because think about it, the casual fans that were watching, maybe more people will be dialed into baseball suddenly after a series like that. Because that was just absolute cinema. That was drama, pure drama. I mean, you had a 7 game series. You had a game 6 where the ball gets stuck, under the wall, a
Yeah.
wedge ball. You had Kike Hernandez making the catch and throw to second base to get Bam Bam Berger out. You know, just a lot of incredible plays, a lot of close calls. You look at game 7, you see what Isaiah Falefa, I always, butcher his name, but
Yeah.
you know the guy
You
I'm
do
talking
better
about.
than me.
Right. Okay, so look, a lot of people said, hey, if they sent him earlier, he would have won the game for the Blue Jays. There was a lot of opportunities for the Blue Jays to win. And it was like, man, it was that close. But man, what a hell of a series. I mean, not to top that. And after, let me tell you this, after that series ended, I had so much withdrawal. It's not even
Yeah.
funny,
Hmm.
you know.
No, I hear you because I told my non-sports neighbor down the street. I said, my son and I, we invested our whole October into the Jays. Like it was like, okay, well, I guess there's a hockey game on. I guess we'll try to watch that because it was like it started literally on that last weekend of of the regular season when they're playing Tampa. The Yankees are playing Baltimore. I'm at a family wedding. My 8-year-old son's giving me updates on the way back. I mean, all right, okay, they've won now. Okay, they get the bye, and then they play the Yankees, and this Trey Scavenge kid. I mean, it was just for me, it replicated a lot of when I was 12 and 13 years old when they won those World Series, and it's definitely got again, as you say, the casual baseball fan talking, no doubt. I mean, we see it here in Canada where they move hockey games up. The Maple Leafs are playing at different times. It's like the country and everybody gets captivated by the Toronto Blue Jays. It's again, not everybody's a fan of the Jays in Canada, but I would say the majority are. And there was always this notion the Jays could never compete in the AL East because of the Yankees and Red Sox, and that myth is if Tampa's doing it and Baltimore can do it, then the Jays can do it too. No doubt.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. You guys had an entire country. We didn't. You guys had an entire nation pulling for you. And that's what made it so sweet for the Toronto Blue Jays. And just the incredible run that they went on. It was just amazing. You mentioned Trey Savage. I mean, goodness gracious, what a performance by him. And then another thing about the Blue Jays, their resilience, their ability to bounce back in a big way. You look at that game 3. Man, I thought that was just a gut punch for them. I didn't think they would recover from that. And then what happens the next day? They bounce back. They win the game. It was just incredible stuff from a baseball team that put up a great fight, that gave the Dodgers everything they had and just played to the final out and just kept trying to chip away and chip away and chip away. And again, in the end, they just couldn't get those timely hits and they couldn't outperform the Dodgers because the Dodgers got those timely hits and the Dodgers, made more plays than them.
Hmm.
And that was the huge difference.
Yeah, no doubt, right? And I mean the Dodgers too. Their journey. I mean, going to play the Phillies, had a few comeback wins there. we know how they won the series with the pitcher kind of throwing. I don't know where he was throwing the ball to. And then that Milwaukee series, you talk about that bullpen. It was shaky in some of those games. I know it was I think it was a 5-game series, but it was yeah, that bullpen, as you say, it's probably nerve-wracking for you.
Yes, the bullpen was very nerve-wracking for me. Roki Sasaki was good in that role in high leverage situations, and then he started to struggle against the Toronto Blue Jays. You kind of saw him laboring a bit, uh, wasn't able to get the outs, was struggling with his command out there. I don't know if it was jitters or probably first time nerves, being in that situation, being in a big moment like that on a big stage. And
Hmm.
the Toronto Blue Jays, they were just um a a team that just know how to hit.
Yeah.
Again, they wear you down. They wear you down. That's what they did with Sasaki. Sasaki was executing his pitches. He would get after them, but then he would lose the batter because they would fight off pitches. And see, this was the thing with the Toronto Blue Jays, what they did so well against our bullpen. They would fall off really, really bad pitches, right? No, they'll fall off. I'm sorry, fall off really good pitches, and they would, you know, be very patient on the bad pitches, and they would draw a lot of walks. And then once they get guys on bases, there's traffic on bases, they would just explode on you. Now they're putting the ball in play. Now they're slapping the ball all over the field. That's what you will see. You go back to that Yankee series, they would get two outs, and all of a sudden the Blue Jays are exploding. And next thing you know, the game is 8-0 or it's 5-0 because they have what, a 5-run inning or a 3-run inning, or what they do to the Dodgers in game one. It was like what, they scored runs in one inning or something like that. I can't remember.
It was the most runs scored in a World Series since the Tigers of '62, I believe.
Yes, yes. And see, that's what they would do. That's what they were capable of. That's what they were so good at. And that, I think, kind of got to our bullpen a little bit. They were able to get to our bullpen.
Yeah.
Even our starters. There was times where our starters looked shaky. They didn't always look their best.
Well, what
Yamamoto was our best pitcher.
right. And Blake Snell, I mean, he was having his moment.
He's having his moments for sure.
No doubt, right? As we're saying all of this, it just goes to what you were saying there before. Probably one of the greatest World Series, no doubt, right? So it's always good to hear the other side of it. Like there's you know uh the mutual respect, if you will. It's because we get sometimes I get the blinders on and that sort of thing. You're playing a good team. We know we're yeah, game six, Roberts pulls Yakamoto early. We're like, why is he doing that? Okay, probably same for game seven. It's the equivalent of him maybe stealing the base in 2004 versus the Yankees, that type of move. It's old hat for Dave Roberts, so it's good. I understand you made a post. You want to go to the Christmas Day game versus Lakers and Rockets. How are you making out with that?
Not gonna happen. Not in my budget right now, but I would love to have gone to see the Lakers on Christmas Day against the Houston Rockets. But
Hmm.
it's okay. Hey, I got the best seat in the house. I'm at home. I'll be at home with my family,
Yeah.
enjoying Christmas Day while the Lakers game will be on my TV, and I'll watch it from home. But yeah, I'm a huge Lakers fan. I've been to a ton of Laker games, both at the Forum when they used to play at the Fabulous Forum, and of course at the Staples Center. I know it's Crypto.com Arena now, but I still call it the Staples Center. It would always be the Staples Center to me, the house that Kobe and Shaq built. But yeah, I've
Mm.
always been a Lakers fan as well. Um, and I like our team right now. I have to say,
Mhm.
they look really, really good right now. I still feel like there's something missing. I feel like they need another quality superstar
Right.
in LA. That's just what I believe when I look at the team. But I mean, hey, Austin Reeves has been balling out. Luca Magic, he's doing his thing. You still got LeBron, even though he's old and eventually father time will catch up to him. He's still around doing his thing. I'm not really huge on LeBron as a Laker, but hey, you know what? It's not the name on the back of the jersey, it's the name on the front of the jersey.
That's right. I mean, he did win his championship in Cleveland. He went to Miami and won. Or maybe Ray Allen won that one, but one of those. But are there memorable games? What are some of the most memorable games that you've witnessed in person?
Ah, I don't know. Most of them came in the late 90s. I I want to say the Lakers Seahawks, Supersonics in 96. I think that's the year we played them in the playoffs. I think that might have been. It's been so long. But I got more memories watching them from TV, to be honest with you, because I can't really pinpoint to a game
For sure.
that I saw in person that was more memorable,
Right.
but I can tell you a lot of games to me that are memorable. One of my favorite Laker games of all time would have to be game one of the NBA Finals 2009 when Kobe just completely went ballistic on the Orlando Magic. Um, he had his game face, he was frowning. This guy was just completely locked in, couldn't be stopped. He was a
Mhm.
scoring assassin, just absolutely an unstoppable force that night. That's one of my most memorable moments. Another one, obviously, him scoring 81 against your Toronto Raptors, of course. That was a big night for me. I think that was one of the coolest moments in Lakers history, no doubt. And I would have to say 2000 game 7 against the Portland Trailblazers, the Western Conference Finals. We were down 14 in that game, and I want to say, I think I was 14 years old.
Yeah, if
I
you're
was
40
14
now,
years
then
old.
yeah, that makes yeah.
Yes. And so that's when, Kobe threw it up to Shaq and Shaq dunked it. It was like Kobe to Shaq. Man, what a comeback that was. I mean, that was an amazing game. We beat Portland, who at that time I did not like Portland at all. I couldn't stand Portland Scottie Pippen. I liked him with the Bulls, but I did not like him. I did not like him at all with the Portland Trailblazers. So that was another memorable moment for me. And then another moment was, of course, when we won the first of three, game 6 against the Indiana Pacers, because for me, that was the first time that I really was able to witness a Lakers championship because before then they hadn't won a championship. It was since the 80s, and I was just a little boy
Right.
the last time they won. So that was really my first time being old enough to kind of remember that one and to actually enjoy it. So
Mhm.
that was another special moment for me as well. And then of course when they won in 010 when they won in 10 against the Boston Celtics and '09. So yeah, a lot of
Nice.
memories though.
Definitely, and yeah, you mentioned of Kobe Bryant, and we see some NFL players that are named Kobe Bryant, and just kind of
Yep.
his legacy, and just this kid from Philadelphia coming to LA, didn't go to college. Did he play like from afar? Did he play a role in your life? Like, you know what I mean? Just
Yes,
is he a guy that
absolutely.
you would say, hey, I want to be like Kobe? And maybe that's superficial to
It
say or
it
slogan, but you know where I'm coming
Well, because I was a kid in the 90s, so I saw a lot of Michael Jordan. So for me, it was more Michael Jordan. He
from.
was the guy I wanted to be like. I would imitate him on the basketball court, try to emulate his style during recess. I collected his trading cards, obviously got his shoes, um, you know, collected Michael Jordan memorabilia, all that good stuff, right?
Okay.
So for me, it was more MJ. And yes, Kobe too. Kobe is someone that because Kobe was a global icon. He was um a name that people knew around the globe. So Kobe, yes, he had a huge impact on my life as well as Michael Jordan. So when Kobe passed away, it was surreal. It was very, very hard for me. Actually, he's one of the few celebrities that I cried after his death. I was just completely heartbroken um, after learning about the horrific helicopter crash and him and his daughter among those other six people, I believe, or seven people who perished in that horrific crash. It was just a sad moment in Lakers history. It was just a sad moment for all those families who lost loved ones. And I think Kobe's death, it didn't only it didn't only affect LA, but I think it affected the entire world. And I think that just goes to show you how much he touched the lives of so many because he certainly touched my life in a way that it can't really be explained, and that's who Kobe was here in LA and I think around the world.
Yeah, yeah, that's very nicely said. I mean, it's uh, for me, it's Roy Holiday. You see it on your phone and you can't believe it. You're like, what? He he got his jersey. This can't be happening. And with Kobe Bryant, it was the bye week to the Super Bowl, so I'm out having a skate. I see this on my phone, and it's just like you don't believe it. And then you come home, and I have a family member text me and just wake my wife up from her Sunday nap. It's like I just need to talk to somebody because it's like the wheels are just turning. Because as you say, it shook a lot of people for months. No doubt, right? The tributes were pouring in and that sort of thing. So yes. Favorite NFL team that you got?
So here's what's interesting about me when it comes to the NFL. So again, you know how I'm a big LA diehard sports fan. So growing up in the early 90s, the Raiders were here.
Hmm.
So most people in LA are Raiders fans. But if you come to Southern California, you will find that there's so many fans from all fan bases out here. Like there's just fans of every team in LA. And I think part of that's because we didn't have a team for so long.
Hmm.
But, the Raiders moved to Vegas, so you know, s- I kind of looked the other way when the Rams came here. And so I became a Rams fan. Now, when they first got here, the Rams sucked. So people can't call me a bandwagon because it's not like I jumped on the wagon because they were good or anything. I became a fan of the team because obviously they became LA sports team.
Hmm.
So the Rams are the team that I root for now. and I've been amazed with the team, particularly with the way Matthew Stafford has looked at age 37. I mean, this guy, we're talking about MVP quarterback. He has put himself in MVP conversations with his quarterback play this year, and he has looked stupendous. He has been remarkable. He has done a great job. Now, there's times where, he can make a mistake, where he throws interceptions and stuff like that. But hey, he has looked good for the most part. Been an amazing quarterback. He can spread it around the field with the playmakers that he has, and Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams. And oh, by the way, you might as well just shut down Devontae Adams for the rest of the season. Why even bother to have him play next week? We don't need him. We already clinched the playoffs, so we're good. But anyways, to get back on topic,
You're not concerned about the buy?
I'm not concerned about the buy at all.
Okay.
I think, yeah, we'll be fine. But yeah, so hey, it's whose house? Rams' house.
Yeah, is it just me, or when Rams games are on, there's more Rams fans? When it's Chargers, it's the opposing team.
Yes,
that would be the correct assessment there. Okay. And
yes, because
why do you think that is? Do you think LA wanted the Rams more than the
well,
Chargers? I think the Chargers still be in San Diego.
I'm glad you asked because here's what I tell everybody about that. And I wrote several articles on this. And if you notice, the Chargers were never able to sell out a soccer stadium when they played in Carson, where the LA Galaxy soccer team played. Remember, that was the field they were originally using when they first got here.
Yeah.
Um, and I think a large part of why people are not Charger fans here, although you have selective few, I would say, but why you don't have an army of Chargers fans is because it's not the true LA team. That's San Diego's team, right?
Exactly.
One. So they moved from San Diego. Dean Spanos came here uh, because he felt that he would get a new stadium, which they did, right? And this move was basically corporate greed. That's all it was. It's just greed. Simple as that. So you alienated an entire fan base just to move your team to Southern California because of greed. That's all it is. And the reason the Chargers will never be accepted in Los Angeles is because you got to think about it. They're in the same division as the Raiders. So if most of LA is Raiders fans,
Yeah.
they're not going to root for the Chargers.
No,
It's,
that's right.
it's, that's not going to happen. So Dean Spanos pretty much thought this idea would be clever, and in the end, it backfired on him because no one here is really supporting your team. And every time you watch the Chargers play, if you ever see them play at SoFi, I know you see this if you watch a football game,
Yep.
you will see the opposing team's jersey colors more than you will see Chargers fans in the stands.
Yeah. Saw that last year with the Chiefs on that Sunday night, Sunday late afternoon game
With the
in the
Steelers, with
Central
the
Time
Packers,
Zone. And the
with the
Packer, like,
Steelers, with the Packers.
yeah, when the Steelers were there on Sunday night, it was like, oh wow, like this is kind of nuts. Yeah, and yeah, you explain it well. Like when Antonio Gates goes into the Hall of Fame, I don't. It's almost like he doesn't even want to say the word San Diego. It's like when Orlando Pace goes into the Hall of Fame, he was like, oh, he was scared to say St. Louis. Yeah, these sorts of things, they become tender topics, if you will, no doubt. Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, it's because I mean, yeah, San Diego has the Padres. But I can't help to think about the Chargers when they had that 14-2 season and they got beat by the Patriots on divisional weekend. Like that was the team with Schottenheimer. They were gonna go and win that Super Bowl, and it just didn't happen. And um, you can go all the way back to maybe Super Bowl 29 when they played the 49ers, Dean Means, that sort of thing. What do you see, how do you see the longevity of the Chargers in LA? Do you think that's uh, a sustainable product, if you will?
I don't necessarily think it's a sustainable product, but I will say the longevity,
Hmm.
in terms of longevity, they're here to stay. I don't see them going anywhere else. They got a nice stadium. Dean Spanos is still, um, still putting money in his pockets,
Right.
you know. And here's another thing too, Steve.
Hmm.
If the Chargers start winning, which they have kind of done so this year, and they have looked good in recent weeks here.
Yes, they have.
If they start winning and they get to the playoffs and they go on these deep playoff runs, do you know this city likes a winner?
Hmm.
So if they can convince everybody that they're suddenly this team that can be this consistent winner, you're gonna have some people jump on their bandwagon. It's LA. It's LA. That's what fans do here too. I'm not saying all of us are like that because there's a lot of us who are loyal too to our teams, like me.
Right.
There's a lot of people that don't switch up on teams
Right.
because one is doing really well and the other isn't. But I'm telling you, if the Chargers do start winning more football games,
Hmm.
they might, you know, get some people on board, and there might be some people that start following the team closely and start rooting for them. That's what a lot of people do here in LA. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, if you even look at the Clippers, you get the new building. It was always old Lakers town, but then Kawhi comes to town. That's a whole maybe 10 chapters there, how that's all playing out. But when we left the Raptors to go to the Clippers and bring, Paul George with him, and they're starting to kind of win, and oh, is it a Clippers town versus Lakers town? You hear that in New York. Is it a Mets town, Yankees town? So Soto goes to the Mets. It must be a Mets town. There's enough people there to go around to make to make it work.
Oh yes, so there's enough people around, but I don't know. The Chargers will. I will say this: the Chargers will never be accepted here, and I wrote about that before.
Hmm.
They will never get the same love that the Raiders and the Rams do, and they will
Interesting.
always be the little guys here.
Even with John Harbaugh, what he's doing, even at 10-4.
I think so. I
Okay.
think so. I think so. However,
Interesting.
again, you will always have those people that root for a team because they're winning,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
especially here in LA.
Right. Yeah. Did you kind of experience that when at the Anaheim Angels won the World Series with
Yes,
Mike Scioscia versus the
yes,
Giants? Troy
yes.
Ball, I think,
Now,
was on that team.
now, I hardly ever see any Angel fans.
Right.
Yeah, remember when Clipper Nation was a big thing with Lob City, with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep.
Everybody was hollering about Clipper Nation, claiming to be Clipper fans. Where are they now?
Yeah, they're
Where are
they're
they
they're
now?
in their basements.
Right, right, exactly. So yeah, but see, that's the bad part about having two teams. Because if one's doing really bad, if one sucks really bad, you can just hop on the bandwagon and join forces with the other team on the other side of town.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, New York can't do that though, because all their teams suck. So New York, they can't really. They have two teams like LA too. They have a big market as well, and but they can't. Both teams suck. I don't care what side you're on. Your
Like
team is
are we talking Nets and Knicks? Are we talking
we're,
Jets and
we're talking
Giants?
Jets, Giants. We're talking. The Mets looked pretty bad last year. They make the playoffs. The Yankees got to the playoffs, but then they got smoked by the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
there's not a lot of if you take the baseball or the football comparison, I'm not sure what the Giants are doing. They've had their moments. They could have won the Denver game. They could have won they could have won the Bears game this year. The Jets are the Jets. You know it's bad when super fans are like, I'm not renewing my tickets anymore. I can't take this. Fireman Ed's leaving at halftime. Uh, it's they haven't been the same since Vinny Testaverde blew out his Achilles. I kid a bit, but I do think some of those things kind of mar a franchise. I mean, the Giants have had success, beat the Patriots Super Bowl 42 and all that fun stuff, but um, yeah, the Jets you have to go back to Super Bowl 3 with Joe Namath, so it's long.
yeah, talk about a tortured fan base. There it is, New York Jets fans. Man, I feel sorry for them, low key. I really do because, man, you know, a couple years ago we were saying like, wow, the Jets can really be something. They can be somebody, and then we look at them, man, they look good on paper, and we're like, nope. When we see them in action, nope,
Nope.
still the same Jets team, just like past years, and everybody on the local radio station in New York, they're frustrated as hell with the team. They're ready to give up on the team. They're calling for everybody to be fired. You know, Aaron Glenn gets one start, or how do I say that? No, he gets his first year with the Jets, and it's all bad for him. I think you give him a few more years though. You got to.
Well, he is signed through 2029. And
Yeah,
again, it's always about the what ifs. They played the Steelers close in week one. They should have probably won the Tampa Bay game, but that's why you don't win those games because you're not quite there yet. They trade Sauce Gardner to the Colts. You start losing pieces. You have to have some sort of foundation. Not sure on the quarterback position. Woody Johnson's
right,
throwing
right.
Justin
Yeah,
Fields under the bus. Like it's just I would never see Clark Hunt doing that. Well, he
yeah.
wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Right, right.
And that's the difference. I'm not sure what Woody Johnson's trying to do. He's trying to get people like us to talk about it. That's exactly what we're doing.
Interesting for me too is I think with the Jets, it's ownership. It's not so much the coaching because I mean they've been doing that for years too. Firing coaches, hiring guys, and it just hasn't worked out, for them. And they've had some talented players come through there, but I mean, it just goes back to ownership,
Right.
you know?
Well, was Robert Saleh a bad coach? I don't think he is. He's having great success with the 49ers, their defense that's very much depleted. Uh,
Yeah.
who had success there prior, so there's some familiarity. But yeah, in that division, when Josh Allen's dominating, you have an up and coming Patriots team. The Dolphins are kind of what they are. You kind of see, yeah, as more things change, more things stay the same, and that's exactly what's playing out in the AFC East this year.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt, right? So, who do you like to be in the Super Bowl this year on February 8th in San
Oh, it's too early. Sure, they can go either way though. It could be the New England Patriots in the AFC. It could be the Rams in the NFC.
hmm
It could be the Bears in the NFC. I don't know. I feel like they might be one and done. They might get in the playoffs and get bounced.
Yeah,
We'll have to wait and see. It could be Green Bay. But Green Bay is like every time I want to believe in them, they have a bad game,
yeah. Mm,
you know, or they have a game where they lose. And then Michael Parsons is done for the year after tearing his ACL. So there you go there with the defense. So it'd be interesting to see. it's tough to really call right now because it's been that type of year. It's been one of those years where it's really hard to say who's going to win the Super Bowl because you haven't really had a team that's run away with it, you know. So it's kind of hard to say, but I will say the door is open for the Buffalo Bills while it is. You don't have to face Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs this year.
Mhm.
So there you go. This is your
Right.
chance, Josh Allen. This is your chance, Bills Mafia.
No, absolutely. Yeah, probably no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes.
Yes,
You may have to play Drake May, which you did. Yeah, you were throwing up at the sidelines on Sunday, but there's no excuse.
Josh Allen. Yeah, right. He brought his team back with his exceptional play. So we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out because it's going to be interesting.
It will.
Jacksonville even looks good. I'm surprised with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, there was that game when they played the Chiefs on the Monday night, and they made some key plays in that game, and the Chiefs didn't, and they were like they've turned that corner, and this was the team everybody thought that Doug Peterson was gonna have, but they bring in the guy. I think he came from New Orleans. I think. Uh, I could be wrong
I,
on that.
I want to say Tampa Bay.
Yes, Tampa Bay. Pardon me, Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
So they bring him in there, and you're seeing that the confidence again. They beat the Jets 48-20 on the weekend, but who doesn't beat the Jets as we've talked about?
right, right.
So yeah, it as you say, it is very wide open. It's and that's what makes it exciting, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Steve. I
Hmm.
see your Chiefs clock in the background. I see you
Yes.
wearing a Kansas City Chiefs hat, and I know you're a Canada native.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, how did you become a Chiefs fan?
How did I become a Chiefs fan? I went down to a game with my buddy and his dad and his cousin when I was 20 years old. So we drove down there. We didn't do any overnight. We just early morning and got there, and we spent the weekend in Kansas City, and then we were staying at this hotel right across from Arrowhead Stadium, and so we could see all the cars out there. And a bit of a side story, we got into the elevator for the to get to the game, and this lady was all dressed in red with. We're like, okay, well, are you going to the game? She goes, well, no, I'm not. And it happened to be Tammy Faye Baker who was in the elevator with us. Uh, so I was like, well, this is interesting as a 20-year-old kid. I was like, this is quite something. And I remember going to that game and getting my face painted and just kind of taking it all in. We were at the 50-yard line in the on the upper deck, but we watched the players come out. So there was Gunther Cunningham, there was Andre Rison, Derek Alexander, and then Derek Thomas. So Derek Thomas comes out. So this is September of '99. They're playing the Detroit Lions, and originally my friend's dad got the tickets because he thought, oh, that'd be Barry Sanders would be playing, so that's the game we're going to go to, and he landed up retiring, but we still went, and I just couldn't get over, um, you know, all of us in this stadium, 80,000 people cheering on the Chiefs, doing their thing, and it was quite encompassing. Like it was just very like this was quite the moment, and it's kind of taken off from there. It was prior to that, but it was. I always tell people I've been a Chiefs fan since '94. Not since Taylor Swift, but when the Chiefs have won these Super Bowls, my kids are just excited as all get out, and they don't know how good they have it. I had to wait so long for a Super Bowl because I wasn't alive when they won Super Bowl four, and so it's a lot of fun. My wife watches the podcast with the Kelseys there on New Heights, and yeah, it's just kind of become this um, cultural thing, I guess, within our house. So it's a lot of fun.
Very awesome. That's a cool story. I'm always interested to know how a fan becomes a fan. Like you asked me earlier in the show,
Hmm.
and that's cool. And as far as your other teams, who's your hockey team? What hockey team do you like?
Yeah, so I do cheer for the Leafs. I've got this in the back.
I saw that. Okay.
Yeah, but it is the Winnipeg Jets. I've gotten to meet some of these guys, kind of in their street clothes and that sort of thing at events, and
Okay.
yeah,
Are you close to Winnipeg, by the way?
yeah, I'm about 45 minutes out. So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, but I would
Got
say
it.
the older we get, the faster it feels like I get to Winnipeg. It's the weirdest thing. I think it's
Nice.
because of all the development,
Okay.
because there's bedroom communities and whatever else, but it's a lot of fun.
Right.
And yeah, so yeah, I would say the Jets are, and then with the CFL, Canadian Football League, obviously the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Have you seen any CFL games? I know they show
I
up on
have not.
CBS Sports Network. That's
Yeah,
where.
I have not seen any CFL. I should check it out, huh?
Okay. I saw an NFL meme on they said that the Dolphins were turning into a CFL team last night, and I just kind of I kind of chuckled. I was like, really? Oh, that's kind of funny. Uh,
That would be disrespectful to the CFL.
right. And I people could say it's a develop. The guy I had on this morning he says, the CFL is a developmental league. He's covered the league, and like there are good athletes in the CFL. There are. It's not because they couldn't make the NFL. They're still good athletes. That's how I view it. But I chuckled at that meme. Just saying.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
Yeah.
So how far are you from Kansas City?
Yeah, about 11 and a half. 11 and a half hours.
Okay.
So, yeah, we left at 11 o'clock, and through all our stops, we got to the hotel at around noon.
Okay.
Uh, and it's funny because you say, okay, I'm in Sioux City for breakfast. And then you get in the car, you think you're close. And then you get to Omaha, you're like, okay. And then, okay, what's St. Joseph's? Okay, okay, now we're settling in. And then once we got there, it was a hoot. We did the whole stadium tour. Um,
Nice.
it was a lot of fun a couple of years ago to do that and take that all in, and you're just again enamored with it. And uh, in the warm-ups too, there's people saying, "Oh, I think Taylor Swift's in the crowd," or I think her plane landed. It's like-
Oh
and this
wow.
was this was a few this was a few weeks prior because it was that Bears game where she first came to that game. She first came to Arrowhead. So this is all fresh. This is like a baker's dozen and a bake like this is like fresh news, right?
Right, right.
So
Like a
uh,
fresh dozen of donuts in the morning.
right, and in that respect, I can't believe we ever actually down there in a year they won the Super Bowl. A team that beat Miami at home and then won a crazy game because Tyler Bass couldn't hit the field goal, and then win a crazy game in Baltimore with Snead's punch out. And it's just that journey. Again, you feel kind of exhausted by the end. I didn't even put the video up on Facebook. I mean, my daughter comes down, we're high. It's pretty wild. So yeah, I'm rambling on here, but those are, yeah, again, that's what makes sports sports, but sports is community and relationship. At the end
Yes.
of the day, that's what I felt. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Mhm. Well, we've almost come to the end of our hour here, but as I always say to everybody, there can always be a part two or three, whatever. But Jonathan, it's been awesome to have you on and telling about your experiences and how you became a fan and all that fun stuff. I do really appreciate it, and keep doing what you're doing too.
Oh, thank you. Likewise,
Yeah,
Steve. I really appreciate you for having me on, man.
yeah,
It was fun to take a moment to have this conversation with you. I've always I, I always look forward to having these type of discussions with different podcasts, different podcasters and
Hmm.
people that's in the same industry as you, or people who are aspired um to do the same things that you do. So it was great to be on the show tonight. And Steve, thanks for having me again. And I want to say to you, keep going, my friend, and keep doing your thing and stay in touch with me as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch, and I hear it's 100 days till first pitch. So
It
I saw
is.
that meme. That's actually nuts. But
Yeah,
we look forward to that, and you have yourself a great Merry Christmas and enjoy the Lakers and Rockets on Christmas Day.
you too. Happy holidays to you and your wonderful family,
Thank
and
you.
you guys be safe out there. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. All right, take
All right.
care. Good
Take
night,
care, my
everyone.
friend.